Hey, and welcome back to Knit Your Stress Away, your podcast for all things knitting, specifically for beginners and busy moms. Hi, I am Nadine. I'm your host here on the podcast. And if you've been wanting to start knitting, but you're not sure where to begin, today's episode is for you. I'm going to share 5 beginner-friendly knitting projects that are perfect if you're just getting started. Obviously, they're also perfect for anybody who wants a simple project that might not take a lot of bandwidth while they're doing other things or watching something or having to answer questions of people or anything like that, where you just want to have a project that is easily completed. These obviously can also be for you. These projects will help you practice your basic stitches and, of course, build your confidence. And you're actually going to make something that you can use or gift. So let's dive into this episode. Welcome to Knit Your Stress Away. I am Nadine Medina, a mom who rediscovered knitting during a stressful season and found it to be the ultimate way to relax, recharge, and reconnect with myself. If you're feeling overwhelmed and wondering if there's a creative outlet that could actually help you feel calmer and in more control, you're in the right place. In this podcast, I'll show you how knitting can be a simple stress-busting tool, even if you've never picked up needles before. So take a deep breath, let go of the chaos for a moment, and let's explore how knitting could become your new favorite way to find calm and joy. All right, before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to just give you 2 quick announcements. One is if you're brand new and you're feeling overwhelmed, don't forget I have a free beginner's guide that is called Become a Knitter in 5 Easy Steps. It walks you through exactly what you need to get started, step by step, so that you're sure what you need to grab, as well as links to tutorials that I recorded that will help you through the very first steps in order to complete a project. It also has recommendations of projects in there as well. Some of them are in this lesson or in this episode, and you will also get a glossary page that has abbreviations and knitting lingo that is quite important when you first start to knit. The guide is currently still $17. It's actually a steal for everything that you get in there. You will literally go from not knowing where to start to finishing a project. It's pretty amazing. And you will get any and all updates that I am making in the next few weeks to this guide as well. I'm going to re-record all the tutorials, and there's going to be a couple more updates packed into there, and you are going to get all of that added to it if you purchase it before the price goes up. The price will go up in the next few weeks after I do the new recordings and the new tutorials. It's going to be $37 after that. So grab it while it's still $17, and you can get this guide at theknittingmamas.com/guide. The second thing is a quick heads up for anybody who's been asking me over on Instagram, when is the next Knitting Made Simple workshop for beginners? It's going to happen in March, and I'm going to actually have 2 dates this time so that I can accommodate different time slots for people, because I've had multiple requests from different time zones, and the evening time slot is not always the greatest for everybody. So we're going to offer one on March 12th and one on March 14th. So more details on that are coming really soon. But for now, mark your calendars, and the registration will open at the end of February. All right, let's dive into some fun and easy projects that you can start today. I'm going to have all the links to these projects listed down in the show notes. None of these, just a disclaimer, none of these are my designs. I do not necessarily design knitting projects or patterns. That is not what I do, but I have a whole bunch of them that I love, that I've tried. I haven't tried every single one of these, but some, and I can definitely give good recommendations as to which ones are great for beginners, and I'm linking them all up for you. Some of them will actually even have a discount code for you to grab. So let's get started. These are all beginner friendly, which is not to say that you can't make them if you're beyond the beginner stage. As a matter of fact, I am going to cast on some of these really soon as well. So the first one up is called the Lana headband. It's a cozy headband from one of my favorite designers, Two of Wands, and I think it's the perfect first project. It's simple, it's stylish, and it's a really great way to practice your basic knit stitch. It creates this squishy fabric that is also known as garter stitch. It's when you knit both sides of your project. It's just a knit stitch, it's one stitch. The guide will show you how to do it. And I'm obviously going to link the pattern up in the show notes, like I just said. And you can just go and browse the rest of her patterns at twoofwands.com. Number 2 is a dishcloth, which you could probably also use as a coaster. So depending on the size that you make, obviously this is going to be a little square. So it's easy to repurpose for various different things. Coaster for under your plants or under your drinks, or maybe even under a container that you use in your kitchen for your tea, things like that. But it's a practical project. It can be absolutely used as a dishcloth as well. And I think they're really amazing for beginners because they also let you practice your stitches without worrying about mistakes too much. And you're going to have something useful in the end. And I think that's really fantastic. So the link for this dishcloth that I'm talking about is on Etsy, and I'm going to link it up in the show notes. All right, next up, number 3 is a coaster and trivet set. These are actually also recommended and listed inside of my free knitting cheat sheet. If you don't have that one yet, you can go get that totally free at theknittingmamas.com/start. It is the 3 things you need to start knitting cheat sheet for anybody who's like, I have no idea what I need. That thing is for you. I think it's a must-have for beginners because it literally includes everything that you need to get started. The coaster and trivet set is a recommendation in there. You can get it on Etsy, and it's made from chunky yarn. So it's a real thick and squishy project that you're going to get. And it's so fun to make because of the chunky yarn that it's made out of. It's actually knitting up super duper fast. And you can, just like the dishcloth, use it as coasters or just as an accent, maybe under flower pots, things like that. And you can be so creative with the colors. Maybe you can even make it with stripes. I think there's endless possibilities and it's just so cute. So go check that out at the link in the show notes. Number 4, a bookmark. And I bet you have not even thought about the fact that you can actually knit a bookmark. I think it's the coolest thing for people who love reading. But if you're not a person who loves reading, you can actually make this as a gift for somebody who does and who you know and who you want to gift something really cool. So it's a quick and fun project. This is actually also one that I'm mentioning in the cheat sheet as well, because it's such a perfect little thing to make when you're first starting out. So it's super tiny, so it knits up really quickly. And if you've listened to me before, you know that I'm all about those quick wins. Okay, and last but not least, on our list of beginner-friendly projects is a plant cozy. Super duper cute. I have not made it yet, but I definitely have it on my list to make, and I think it's going to add so much coziness to your home when you make this. It's essentially, you can make it at any size. It's a garter stitch as well, which includes only that one knit stitch, once again, and you will end up seaming it together to where it fits right around any of your pots for your plants. So you can choose different colors, whatever complements your decor in your home, and you can just kind of add this homemade or handmade item to your home for a really cool customized touch. And I think it's a really great first pattern. You can also find this one on Etsy, and I'm going to obviously link it up in the show notes as well. I can't wait to see what you guys are making. Like, it would be just so fun for me to see that. If you're picking any of these projects that I'm talking about today, I would love for you to tag me. Either come into our community. It's free. You can find it at theknittingmamas.com/group. And then it takes you over to the Facebook group where I'm going to then approve your request. And you can also just do it on Instagram. So if you're making any of these, go to Instagram, take a picture of it, post it into your stories, and just tag me at theknittingmamas_. And I would love to just see what you're creating. So I hope this gives you some inspiration to pick something that is easy to accomplish or easy to make, but quickly accomplished, and that can really kind of spark not only your inspiration, but also your drive to make more things after you're done. And remember, you do not need to be an expert to create something really pretty, really beautiful. And if you're brand new, please don't forget to grab the cheat sheet or the beginner's guide. Both are linked in the show notes as well. And look forward to the workshop if you want to get a hands-on instruction from me to learn to knit or just get a refresher. We all could use one of those every once and again. I know I definitely did back in 2020 when I picked up my knitting needles again after 2 decades and had no idea where to start. So I hope to see you guys there. look out for the registration coming at the end of February. And until next time, here on the podcast, happy knitting. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on today's episode. I hope you're walking away with a bit more inspiration and a few ideas to make your self-care a priority. If today's chat gave you a little boost, I'd love it if you could leave a 5-star review on iTunes. This helps other moms discover the podcast and start finding more calm and creativity in their day as well. And don't forget to join us over in the Knitting Mamas community on Facebook by going to theknittingmamas.com/group. Thanks again, and remember, you deserve time for yourself to recharge and feel your best. Catch you next time on the Knit the Stress Away podcast.